Good afternoon, traders. How are we? Welcome to Simply Forex. Welcome to the live stream. Trader Tom here, and I am with you for the next 45 minutes or so, or until you're sick of me, one or the other. Guys, today we are going to do the following. We're going to do some in-depth market analysis, right? We're going to look at the markets, see what's going on. We're also going to take as many of your questions as humanly possible. So don't be shy, guys. Come say hello, leave a question, get involved, right? You're here to learn, so ask as many questions as you like, guys. What else are we going to do? I'm also going to look at a couple of trades that I'm looking at that are setting up. I'm not in anything at the moment because the markets, for the want of a better word, are evil bastards at the moment, right? They're just, we've already... Every time you have a Monday and you have gap ups and gap downs, you're always conscious of, are these gaps going to be filled? Last week's gaps were all filled, right? So, and it just makes for tricky market conditions. All right, so we'll look at that and why things are a little bit tricky as well. We are also, there's more. We're also going to look at the news. So at 1/2 the hour, guys, if you're in any Canadian dollar pairs, right, brace yourself, because at 1/2 the hour, we have CPI, we have inflation coming out of Canada. All right, so remind me, guys, when that's coming out. We will play Guess the News game, and it is probably the best game online right now. It's not very fun at all, but we will play it. And yeah, like I say, guys, we're going to take all of your questions. Let me just see who's in the live chat. So afternoon, Brett, afternoon, Offman, CJ, afternoon, Tom, how are you? Yeah, so guys, yeah, keep coming, say hello. Please leave your questions. Don't be shy. Right, we're going to start with, for those of you that don't know, right, we have a free Discord channel, right? It's our trading community and you can join it. It's free, right? And in here, I put all of my trade ideas for each day, right? Now, obviously, you know, I don't trade all of these. Obviously, some of these are correlated, but these are my trades that I'm looking at. And I haven't had a setup on any of these trades. Right, so first and foremost, any Aussie dollar pairs, right, were just blown out the water, right, because Aussie dollar was super weak, right? This is Euro Aussie dollar, right, and Aussie dollar on the back of the interest rate earlier on has just been weak all day, to the point where we have broken these last highs. Right, so I know Euro Aussie dollar sells is not going to be a trade for me today, right? I wanted to see a break of these lows, right? And you can see my alarm in there, right? But obviously this is not going to happen. It's the same with pound Aussie dollar, right? It's breaking these highs, right? No longer interested in pound Aussie dollar. I wanted the opposite to happen, right? So it's very important that you know your setup, right? If it doesn't happen, you don't trade. There was a couple of yen pairs that I was looking at, right? So if we look at euro yen, and this is in a downtrend technically, right? So we had this H4 trend, right? We was in an uptrend at this point. We were getting higher highs, right? But as soon as we broke these lows, we're in a downtrend. We're getting lower lows. But the candle that broke the lows, look at that candle. Do you really want to start selling that candle? Right? Answers on a postcard. And on that postcard, it should say, no, of course I don't. I'm not an idiot. Right? So I just cannot sell that, no matter how much I want to. Right? So we'll see what happens here. Maybe we have to wait for price to come back up to, you know, potentially one of these levels and we get another bearish reaction. Then I'll still be interested in euro yen sells. Swiss franc yen was another one, guys, that we was interested in, but exactly the same, right? We were looking for a break of these lows. But but we got this candle instead, right? And that is a buying candle, not a selling candle. So that's where we are today, guys, right? Is just nothing is setting up. And, you know, as I say, guys, the markets, the last 2 weeks, well, this week so far and last week have just been tricky, right? The markets are just whipsawing, right? You know, my generally speaking, my strategy is a trend following strategy. And if you're getting markets that are whipsawing in one trend direction, then the other, of course, that is a tricky market, right? And what really sums that up is euro yen, right? You know, we're coming down, we're in a H4 downtrend, and then bang, we're in a H4 uptrend. Everyone's thinking, right, we're going higher, and then bang, we're in a H4 downtrend all of a sudden. And this just sort of epitomizes the market conditions we're in at the moment. Excuse me. And you must be very aware of the market conditions you're in. And if they're not conducive to your strategy, then sort of stay away from them, really. And that's what I've been doing. I did enter a New Zealand dollar, US dollar trade yesterday, but, you know, again, it wasn't conducive to my strategy. So, yeah, tread carefully, guys, at the moment. Right, let's go to the live chat. Let's see who we have got in the house. So I said afternoon to you guys. Colin, how are you from Bali? How the devil are you? Tony Gold, how are you? Grand Rising, indeed. And Pooh Poppy, we have a new member. Welcome, Pooh Poppy, and thank you for becoming a member and supporting Simply Forex. Very kind of you. And guys, please don't forget to get as many questions as you can over to me in the live chat. We would love to hear from you. Don't be shy. Ask as many questions as you like. Right, guys. What else are we going to look at here? Okay, there is one trade I'm really interested in at the moment, and it's Euro US dollar, right? If we get a structure break. Let me have a quick sip of coffee out of my favorite Liverpool FC mug. If you are a Liverpool fan, congratulations, we've won the league. I don't know if I've mentioned that enough over the last couple of weeks. And I've had to go for slightly less crazy coffee. This last stuff was like straight from Colombia. Right. Euro US dollar, right? I still like this trade, right? If we start with the day chart, guys, because day chart always gives me my direction, right? And if you look at the day chart, and let's just follow structure, right? For those of you who are perhaps new to the channel, right, you need to understand the structure of the market. And what the structure does is give you the trend. The structure is made up of, you know, lows, right, and highs. That is the structure, and that tells you what trend you are in, right? And as you can see, we're getting lower highs, lower lows. We are clearly in a downtrend, right? You do not need to be Warren Buffett to see we are in a downtrend. And at these last highs, right, you know, this candle here isn't exactly super bearish, but it does have a top wick. We're at a nice resistance level horizontally, and we've got the moving average 20 hitting this level as well, right? So I really like that level of resistance. I like the downtrend. So I think potentially this could be a good trade, right? And if you think about what I look for, right? So number one, I'm looking for trend and structure. This is in a downtrend. I want to sell. I'm looking for good areas of support and resistance to trade from. This is at a lovely level of resistance to trade from, right? Then I'm looking at candlesticks. As I explained, this isn't super bearish, but it's not exactly bullish, right? It has a top wick that works enough for me. And also, guys, I want to trade from an area of value. And value basically means I want to pull back, right? I want to retrace, right, into an area of resistance in a downtrend. And then I want to sell out of this downtrend, right, out of this area. And this will be my first target back down to these lows, right? So I'm getting all that information from the daily chart, right? That's what it's telling me. Now, daily gives me my direction, but I need to find an entry, right? It's one thing, you get lots of people on YouTube and analysts saying, "Oh, I'm very bearish euro US dollar," right? It's it's not enough info, right? What are you going to do with that information? You're like, okay, thanks, mate. Where do I trade from? Where's my stop loss? Where's my take profit? That information is far too vague. And what I've just shown you is I am bearish euro US dollar, right? But now we want to understand where we can enter from. And that's where the H4 and or the H1 come in. And as you can see, guys, right, this is that gap up I've been talking about, right? Does the market want to fill this gap, right? This will be interesting. I think the market fills gaps, right? So it probably will. Now, that alone sort of adds confluence to our sell trade, right? But we still need a setup. And my setup will be this. If we just follow structure and trend, we'll structure and then we get trend, right? This is where we're at, right? We are in an uptrend because we're getting higher highs, higher lows, right? Fact, yeah? And everything I show you is just facts. It's just facts on a chart. It's not some magical indicator that tells you where to buy or sell. It's just price action, right? Technical trading. So all I'm looking for, guys, is a structure break, which means if we break this level right here, right? Let's say it looks like this, and then we get a big bearish H4 candle. I will be selling on the back of that, right? I will be selling this market, put my stop above the last high, right? And maybe the last high is lower than this according to price action. Maybe it's here, right? And then I will sell it firstly back down to these lows, right? You can tell that's an important area for this chart, right? And I will take some profit at this first TP. And then I will let some profit run all the way back down to these daily lows. And that is exactly what I will do with euro US dollar if that happens, right? If it doesn't, I'm not interested, right? If price does this, comes back up, hits this level again and starts making higher highs, right? Not interested, yeah? And it wouldn't look like a good sell trade on the daily chart anyway, right? So you can see my alarm is here, guys. I'm just waiting for a break of that low. If we get it, I am into this bad boy, right? Right, guys, let's see who else we got in on the live chat. So Jude, where the hell have you been? Welcome back. I've said to you before, if I was going to have a son, he was going to be called Jude, and my friend's son, who is a twin, is also called Jude. There you go, some interesting information. Scott Leonard, how are you? Poo Poppy, I'm currently looking at possible pound euro sells. Okay, so you're looking at euro pound buys. I'm too rusty and can't find an entry. Prathish, hello, how are you? All right, so let's have a look at, so usually, Poo Poppy, right, people are looking to trade the euro pound, right? That is one of the, common pairs to trade, not pound euro US dollar, but purely by what you're saying, pound euro US sells means euro pound buys, right? So let's have a look at euro pound buys and see if that makes sense. Now we're going to do a top down approach here, guys, right? Together as one big happy family, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at the charts and you're going to give me your opinion, right? Simple as that. So let's do this one together. So looking at the weekly chart, we're going to do weekly and daily to get our direction, and then we're going to look at H4 for entries, right? But you need to agree, okay? So I can see Mark's in the house. Pathish wants to look at oil. We'll take a look at that as well. Okay, I see what you mean, Poo Poppy. Right, so everyone get involved, guys. Weekly chart, only looking at this weekly chart, right? Would you buy, sell, or stay out of euro pound, right? Everyone in the live chat, leave your response right now. Euro pound weekly chart only. Would you buy, sell, or stay out? Get your answers to me right now. I'm going to have a drink of coffee while you do that. Right, Poo Poppy would sell. Okay. Jude would stay out. Brett would buy. Anyone else? Don't be shy, guys. There's no such thing as a wrong answer. And if you do give us a wrong answer, we will ridicule you live on the stream. I'm only joking. We wouldn't do that to you. Right. So I always love doing this exercise, guys, because you are the sentiment of the chart, right? You know, we talk about sentiment trading. It's basically the sentiment of traders, right? Are they seeing it as bullish? Are they seeing it as bearish, right? And all of you, well, not all of you, but we've got sells. Hello, Michael. How are you, mate? We've got buys. We've got stay out. We've got sell. We've got stay out. We've got stay out. We've got buys, right? Okay. So we've got a mixed bag. Okay. So let's, anyone else? Okay. Why? I think these are all old alarms, guys. I'm not looking at these. I should really have a sprinkling of my alarms. So let's just look at the facts of the chart. And I suggest you do the same, right? Now, we are in a weekly uptrend. Fact. Higher lows, higher highs. Fact, right? So on the weekly chart, we are in an uptrend, okay? I know this is a hell of a retrace, right? But we're still in an uptrend, and we're literally at the moving average 20, which we know is good dynamic support, right? So we're in an uptrend. We're at we've retraced to a really nice area of value, and we are at pretty much at the moving average 20, which we know is dynamic support, right? But candlesticks, right? They're just as there's such a crucial piece of information. Now, looking at this candlestick and this candlestick, do you want to buy those candlesticks? Right? And the answer should be no, right? We don't. Okay. So it ticks a lot of boxes for a buy trade, but the candlestick is so important and it's just telling me sellers are in control, right? If you think about your job as a trader, guys, right? What you really have to do is your job is to decide who is in control, buyers or sellers. And you either go with the buyers or you go with the sellers, right? And if you can't determine that, you stay out. So that's your job, right? Pretty much. So for all of those reasons I just explained, I would stay out of this market, right? SO, okay? Stay out of this market. But that's only on the weekly chart, right? We do have another, look at charts, look at multiple time frames to give you more information, right? So if we go down to the day chart now, right, let's get rid of this. Okay, if we go down to the day chart now, again, I'm going to ask you the same question, right? Can you see my little watermark I've added this week? It was the editor's idea. He loves a watermark, that one. So with this trade, guys, now you can't take your eyes off it and actually see the candles. That's the problem I have all of a sudden. Right, same question, guys. Day chart now, same pair, euro pound, day chart. Would you buy, sell, or stay out of this market? So everyone, please get involved and leave your answer. Right, so Poo Poppy would sell. Brett, downtrend, but stay out. Jude would sell. Hi, Yusuf. How are you? Hi, editor. That's very nice of you, Yusuf. The editor never gets enough hellos. He gets very teary if he doesn't get a few hellos. Right. So we've got stay out, sell, sell, stay out, sell, sell, stay out. Okay. Right. So no one's buying, but we've either got sells or stay out. And I've just seen Aussie Trev. This looks like a new person to our channel. And I hope you are Australian, Aussie Trev, with a name like that. We also have a bloke who comes on and his name is Electrician. And he is an electrician. We asked him. So there you go. Prathish would buy, and Carlos, I will wait for a retrace and then sell. I agree, right? But currently that means you would stay out. Right. So again, let's just look at the facts of the chart. Right. You know, that's all you can do, guys. I cannot iterate this enough. Right. Just look at the facts of the chart. What does the chart tell you? The chart is telling you that we are in a downtrend. Right. And this is where we're at. Right. We're getting lower highs, lower lows, right? We're in a downtrend. Then we look at support and resistance level. So we've got a resistance level here, we've got a support level here, and we're sort of in the middle. We're in a bit of no man's land here. And also what is a bit of no man's land is the candles. Just look at those candles, right? Being euro pound, they have not moved more than 40 pips. Right, 40 pips. Imagine that on pound Canadian dollar. That's like one hourly candle, right? So it's just not moved anywhere. This is consolidation. This is price saying, I don't know what to do with myself, right? So for that reason, I would stay out, right? There's a good argument that price could come up to here, right? And then it comes down, right? There's an argument that this downtrend can carry on. It just breaks these lows and then carries on into this area of support, right? So it's a stay out for those reasons, right? Now, as Carlos mentioned, right, this is what I would do. Now, if price comes back into this area, right, we know it's a good resistance area, right? It was support, it's now resistance. Moving average 20 comes down, right? And we get a nice bearish candle that looks something like that. Then we have potentially a very nice trade on our hands, and we could take it back down to this support here, right? But that's all ifs and buts. That may never happen. And all we can do is judge the market on the here and now and what we can see. And this market is just consolidating, right? It's just not moving. So I do not want to touch a market like that. Okay. So that's basically what I do every morning, guys, right? I look at the weekly, I look at the daily, and then I ask myself, can I buy it? Can I sell it? And, you've pretty much answered this, guys, not even me, but on the weekly, the majority of people will stay out. And on the day chart, the majority of people will stay out, right? So euro pound will not get written, and it is writing. I'm old school. I use like paper and pen. Euro pound will not get written down as one of my trade ideas for today, right? I've looked at weekly, I looked at daily. It said stay out, stay out. But, you've got another, 28 currency pairs down here. You've got indices, you've got oil, You don't have to trade this one. So I wouldn't. Let's take a quick look at the H4. Yeah, and just look, this is just that nonsense price action, right? It's like we're in an uptrend, we're in a downtrend, we're in a don't know what trend. Yeah, it's just horrible price action. And I do not want to be in any of that. All right, guys. So yeah, that's euro pound poo poppy. I hope that helps. And guys, while I think of it, if you are enjoying my analysis, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. If you haven't already, please come join our trading community. You can talk to like-minded traders, you can share your trades, you can look at other people's trades, you can have a chit chat about a woman or man you met at the weekend if you want. Nobody really does that in the chat room, but you can do that if you want. I'd be interested. So come join our free Discord channel. The link is in the comments below. Also, guys, if you haven't already, please check out our website. You can see it here, www.simply-forex.com. You can get access to all of our premium trading education, which includes the course, the VIP Academy, and the mentorship program where I coach you one-on-one. And if you sign up for the free Discord, guys, we're giving you a 50% off coupon for the Simply Forex Complete Trading course. All right, so check all that out. All the links are below. Also, guys, right now, if you are looking to take any prop firm challenge, then look no further than Blueberry Funded, right? They are a world-class prop firm backed by a world-class broker. That is so important. This prop firm is not going anywhere. We've got many traders that we know that have been taking the prop firm challenges, and we get nothing but good reviews, guys, right? It's a very good, reputable prop firm company. And right now, they are offering you 20% off any prop firm challenge that you want to take if you use code Simply. And also, guys, we've literally, well, the editor's a little bit of a computer whiz. I wouldn't know how to do this, but he's put a QR code on the screen. So you just scan the QR code. It will take you through, put in the code, and you'll get 20% off any funded challenge right now. Right? What's not to like? Check it out. Right, what else are we looking at right now, guys? Excuse me 1 second. Right, what other questions did we do? Okay, so let me just take a quick look. Poo Poppy, thanks for the synopsis. You are welcome. Okay, so we've got an interesting question here. And Prathish, I haven't forgotten about gold or oil. We'll look at those next. But this is a really interesting question. So it says here, Tom, objectively, what minimum amount of candles counts as a retracement in a trending market for you? And that is a very good question, right? I like this question. I like these sort of questions. I can get my teeth into them. Now, what is really good for that is, I'm going to randomly pick any pair, so I'm not cherry picking anything. US dollar, Canadian dollar, right? Now, let's just keep the current price action, right? Now, what is a really good visual representation of a retracement is the moving average 20. Let me get rid of some of these areas, right? And this is old as well. I really do need to spring clean, guys. Forgive me. So, right, you can see here, when we break this level here, we go from a downtrend, bang, up to an uptrend, right? And at this point, let's go back in time. Let's use the back to the future button, right? So everyone right now is seeing a H4 uptrend. And if you're not, go to Specsavers, right? You can get 20% off right now with Specsavers. I'm only joking. I'm laughing at my own jokes. We do not have an affiliate partnership with Specsavers. Maybe we should. This would be a hilarious affiliate to have for a trader. Anyway, Yeah, so you can see, right, this is H4, right? I'm looking at the H4 because this is quite a typical time frame that I enter on, right? H4 is in an uptrend. Now, the million-dollar question, right, for everyone all the time is where will it retrace to, right? Isn't it? I mean, if we knew that answer, we'd all be driving around in, gold-plated Rolls Royces, right? Mine's yellow, not gold. No. I wish. I don't wish, actually. I don't want a Rolls Royce. I'd have a Bentley Coupe GT. Anyway, I digress. Now, we want to know where this can retrace to. Now, typically, we put in levels, right? Previous levels. So we could put in a potential area there, right? There is, I mean, this is quite close and clustered price action here. But there's an argument that that's a level, right? You can see previously, right? Christ. You can see that this is a level, right? And you can potentially see that this is the last level that we broke. Now, again, we don't know which level this will come down to, right? But if the market has moved this far in such a short period of time, there are some clues, right? So it's unlikely that if it's made such a big move up, this will probably represent a very bullish daily candle. It's unlikely that it's going to retrace all the way back down to this level. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's unlikely because of the strength of the move. Right? And these are all the things I think about when I'm looking for an area to retrace to, right? This has turned into a tutorial. Let me have some coffee. Let's carry on, right? But we've got other levels, right? We've got this level here and this level here, and it could react to any of them. But going back to my first point, the moving average 20 is a very good visual representation of where price can retrace to, right? Price tends to want to make its way down to the moving average 20, right? It doesn't always touch it. It's not an exact science, but visually, if price is near the moving average 20, it's a pretty good area of value to trade from. Now, Mark's question is, how many candles? Again, it depends on the big push up. And you can't measure this in candles. All you can do is measure this in levels and the moving average 20, right? And we'll take a look at how many candles it takes, right? And before we go on, just to show you the moving average 20, right? Right, it breaks the moving average 20, good area for a retrace, right? It comes back up, again, not an exact science, but near the moving average 20, it comes back down. Near the moving average 20, comes back down, right? Then it eventually breaks it, right? We're in an uptrend. Moving average 20 comes back up. Moving average 20 comes back up. It breaks it. Moving average 20 goes back down. Moving average 20 goes back down. This, again, it's not going to be foolproof all the time. We do get a break here, but finds its way back down. You get the idea. Moving average 20 is a pretty good area for looking for retraces. Now, if we play this chart along, and also, guys, what's worth pointing out here is two things, right? I also want to see a bullish candle, right? This is in an uptrend. And as we retrace, I want to see a bullish candle, right? I want to know that buyers are in control. Okay. Now, interestingly, we've had a nice big bullish candle here, right? Not quite at this level. Now, would I be interested in this? The answer's no, right? Because there's no value, right? If I start buying up here, I know that price can come all the way back to the moving average 20. So at least I want to put my stop loss below the moving average 20. and there's no value. I have too much of a big stop loss and price has to move so far, right? So we do see a bullish candle, but there's no value up here, right? Around the moving average 20, there is value, right? Remember that, guys, it's important. So let's play this along, see if we do get a retrace. Right. Now, when I, excuse me, frog in my throat, I did a lot of talking. Right, now, every time I show these examples, right, I always get very difficult price action. Now, here, you have a judgment call, right? Price has come down to here. Now, this is a gap down, right? And price has come to here. And again, we've had this big bullish candle, right? And it's not a million miles away from the moving average 20 all of a sudden. Now, I do question value again, right? But potentially, you know, we could take this trade. You could start buying in here, you know, but again, I'd still have to put my stop loss down here, but below the moving average 20 at least, right? News has come out, CAD news. Okay, so let's see how this plays out. Let's see if it takes off from there. Okay, so that was enough. Now let's carry on this trend. Okay, so again, right, prices come here. We're in an uptrend, right? Again, we're looking for a retrace. Prices come down to here. We've got a bullish candle. You know, ideally, you want a candle to retrace to an area of support. Now, this combination, I really like, right? If you get this scenario, right, we're now confirmed we're in an uptrend, right? If we get a price where we get support once resistance becomes support and the moving average 20, when they combine, that becomes a very powerful area to enter from. All right, so let's see if we get a reaction there. Right, okay, so we haven't had a bullish reaction at that point, so not interested. And also, guys, right, we're starting to see a H4 breakdown, right? We've now broken this low. So I'm not interested in this trade anyway, right? But let's carry this on, right? I'm just going to use the back to the future button. Okay, and we are just going to pick, right, a random piece of chart, right? Okay, so let's just play this along and wait for something that's clearly trending. Right, we're trending. Right, as soon as we break this level in here, right, you can see it was resistance. We're now in a trending market. Okay, we're getting higher highs, higher lows. Okay, so generally speaking, guys, I want to pull back into this area here. Right, you can see it was once very good resistance, so could become very good support, and or the moving average 20. Right, so somewhere in here is a very good vicinity for entries. But again, we're just waiting for a bullish candle after a retrace. Again, I'm not interested in buying here. There's no value. If it comes down here and I start buying, there's value. Right, so always trade from value. You know, if you're going to, Christ, this frog in my throat. If you're going to trade, you know, if you're going to buy anything, like if you're going to buy your gold-plated Rolls Royce, right, and it's £250,000, right? So at this point, the Rolls Royce is £250,000. But someone says you can buy the same Rolls Royce, but you can get it down here at £210,000. You'll be like, right, I'll wait, right? And that's the concept of value very simply, right? But let's play this along. Right, okay, so there you go, right? It's reacted at our level, right? It reacted at our level. We got a nice bullish candle. We can start buying in here, right? I would still put my stop loss below this support level, right? Give it a bit of room, and away we go, right? Now, you're probably thinking, Tom, if you were just bought there, right, you would pretty much be in at the same price at the close of this candle. Now, I agree with you, but this bullish candle bouncing off of a support level acts as another piece of confluence to take this trade. It's given me more confidence in this trade, right? And it allows me to have a tighter stop loss, really, right? Because this level is proving itself. Yeah, otherwise my stop loss would be down here or below the moving average 20, right? And then price, we buy here, stops in here, right? We get 1:1, maybe we leave some profit to run, and then we just keep on, rinsing and repeating that same process, really, guys. Okay, so yeah, you can see, look, every time price comes back towards the moving average 20, it's a pretty good gauge for where price should retrace to. Now, if we get a market like this and price starts retracing below the moving average 20, that's when I would say I'm conscious of, is the retrace chain, is it a retrace or is it potentially a move to the downside? And I use the moving average 20 to help me gauge that. If price is above the moving average 20, right, and we keep getting these retraces and moves up, I'm happy to keep trading. But if we start, look, if we play this along, if we start getting price move below the moving average 20, right, now I'm a little bit concerned, right? This is still, well, not quite, but at this point, right, we're still in a move, we're still in an uptrend, right? Just about. We've had a massive rejection at the last high. Now I'm not interested in buying this market. We've actually broken this low as well. We're starting to see price come below the moving average 20. I'm no longer interested in this market. If anything, it will be a sell trade now. All right, and if we play this along, there you go. Right, it starts to break down. All right, guys. So, Mark, that is a very in-depth answer to your question. I hope that helps. And again, guys, if you're enjoying the analysis, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. Please come join our trading community, our free Discord. Check out the website. And don't forget, guys, if you're looking for a prop firm challenge right now, use the QR code on the screen and you will get 20% off any challenge with Blueberry Funded, our prop firm partner. Prathish, I haven't been ignoring you. So let's just do one of Prathish's questions. Right, let's have a look at gold. Let's have a look at oil. Oil's more interesting at the moment. Okay, so let's have a look at Brent. We're going to do the quickest. Sorry, we're in replay mode. I thought this looks nothing like oil. Right, weekly chart. This is how quickly I look at the markets, guys. Right, we're in a downtrend. Lower highs, lower lows. We're in a downtrend, although we are not seeing lower lows. Right. Then I look at the candles. That is not really a buying candle. This one here. Right, I'm not interested in buys. We're in a downtrend and we have a top wick on this candle. Definitely not interested in buys. Am I interested in selling it? Yes, or stay out. So this is a sell or stay out for me, right? So let's have a look at the day chart. And again, let's just look at the facts, right? We were building up here. Right, and then we kind of broke down, and this is where we're at. So scruffy price action, right? We're still technically in a downtrend because we never broke this high here. But we're sort of above the moving average 20. All right. So what I would say to myself is this. Yeah. If we get a break of these highs here, right, on the day chart, but right now I'm not interested. It's just to stay out. Look, I mean, these candles are just telling us nothing. Weeklies, a bit of a stay out or sell, but nothing's telling me to sell here, right? So if you think about it, from the weekly, I would stay out or sell, right? And right now on the daily, I would stay out. But you can see prices in this kind of area, right? So if I get a break to the downside, right, and we get a nice bearish candle that breaks through this, right, I would sell Brent back down to these lows, okay? If we got a break to the upside, I still wouldn't be interested because we're straight into this resistance and potentially this resistance as well. So really the only scenario would be a break of these lows in here, and then I would start selling the market. All right. So yeah, there you go, guys. Yeah, we're going to call it a day. I would, yeah, Paramdeep, I got there in the end. Right, guys. Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate you spending your time with me today, guys. Appreciate all the questions as usual. Please come join me again tomorrow, same time, 8 a.m. New York EST time. Get involved, ask your questions. Let's do it again tomorrow. Adios, amigos.